All right, this is our third video on this tutorial, and you can see so really quickly did the other side. Again, you're gonna get a lot faster, and you may not need me to show you every little facet of this, but I think it's good to kind of watch and then skip ahead if you're kind of know how to do it. Um, so one of the things I did while I was modeling, I did look at some of the modeling and I wanted to add this feature right here. And I think this is just for to keep this as stable as possible so it doesn't warp when it's being torqued with all this weight, especially these things get full of so much weight with garbage. So I noticed this went all the way around, but not here. So I was like, what is going on? So again, take tons of photos because this stuff is so valuable. Like stuff like that. Like, how does this stuff work? Um, and I kind of did a bad job here. Some details here that we may not do, but and now I can't find the image that I wanted to show you. Anyways, I think I wanted to show you the front. All right, come on. All right, so the front. All right, so this is kind of like a little flange here, and I think you saw a little bit of it flanges out here. So I want to make this little feature, and then I want to indent, and so it looks like it stops, but it's actually metal. So we're gonna model that really quickly. I'm just gonna do a flange out. I don't think I'm gonna do that. Maybe just pull it out, but maybe not the hollow part. All right, and then we're gonna move on to the other feature. This, we're not gonna do all this. Again, if you want to do bonus points, that's fine. We're just gonna do that uh, front flange, and then we're gonna do this indentation. And I think we may stop there. That's a lot to tackle in one day. So I want to make sure that you have plenty of time during the class to do this, and also plenty of time maybe for homework to work on this. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and do that cut that I did earlier. And I'm going to eyeball this. Let's see. Oops. Object mode. Show what I just did. All right, I'm going to show my front image. Okay, I'm going to hit 4. And then for my front image, I do want to move that back. So I'm going to select it and go to my perspective. Again, this is in the wrong spot, so I'm going to move it forward like that. All right, so this gives me kind of a vision of where this is. And so I'm going to just make sure I'm on object mode, right click object mode, and I'm going to hit right click insert edge loop and cut here. And I'm going to cut here. All right, and you can see it's not there, but I don't want to add any more geometry. So we're going to fake it. And so I'm going to turn off this, hit 5. And we're just going to go ahead and go to face. And I'm just going to grab Apple Z undo. And I'm going to go grab, all right, we'll do app face again. I don't know why it's not selecting. All right, so I'm going to go up to my selection tool. Just make sure you're completely out of that edge tool. Let's go to object. And again, selection tool, face. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. That's going to happen to you. Sometimes Maya just doesn't want to participate in everything. So we're just going to select that. Again, this isn't perfectly lining up, but at this point, I don't really care. We're going to hit extrude face. And we're actually going to hit W, just kind of pull these straight out. Okay, this is just a little bit of a feature there. And I'm going to hit G. We're going to extrude it one more time. And I'm going to make that little indentation that we saw earlier. And I'm going to squeeze it in just a little bit so the geometry is kind of pulling in. Okay, hit G again. And extrude the geometry. And we're gonna make that kind of triangle. And I'm just gonna pull it, tuck it in just a little bit. Hit W. And I'm gonna pull this out. Right? I know it's silly, but I think it's a cool little feature. Alright, so it looks like that. We're not doing that. We're just bulging it out. Alright, so if I go like that, that is. I mean, if you really want to go nuts, select that, extrude it, make it a little bit smaller, then do kind of like what we did here. But I think for our purposes, I think that's fine. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that that kind of support beam in here. And I'm going to go to my side view, turn that on, so we know exactly where to cut that. Again, we want to be very, very minimal on our insert edge loops because it's adding more and more polygons. So I think we're at 1294 polygons, so which is nothing, but anyways, but if you have a scene of thousands of these, okay, so I just did the inside wrong, so hit Command Z. I think I'm getting probably tired, I don't know. Do the outer, and we're going to select the outer here, so I have geometry to play with. Again, we don't want to do this all the way around, so we're just going to make the indentation. We're going to do it in 2 phases, I think. Select this. And I'm going to turn off my side view so I can see all the way around. Hit shift, and again, just look around, make sure you didn't accidentally grab something else, which you will. It reminds me, increment and save, just in case this crashes or I screw up. And we're going to do extrude face. You're going to use your little blocks of cheese there. And let's see if we can push this in. Alright, just do a little bit because we don't want to go into that other geometry. Look around, make sure that looks alright. Okay, this is a little bit more subtle than this one. This one's a little bit harder edge, but that's alright. So I follow through with this. And shift, extrude face, and just bubble it in a little bit. Bubble it in. Oop, not that far. And you can hit your W, or you can hit the blue key here, or the blue arrow. Alright, hit object. Alright, so it's looking pretty good. Alright, so those lines may bother you, and you may want to look at a different view, but once we get this into substance and we start adding some textures on it, it's going to look amazing. Alright, so we're going to go to our side view, turn that on, and we want to see where this sucker is, right? I'm going to go to my side view, and we're almost done. So we're going to go ahead and go to face, and maybe you need to do this in perspective, but this kind of helps you figure out where that is. Alright, so it looks like it flanges out, so I'm going to do one at a time. Let's see how bad this is. So I'm gonna pull this in so it's a little bit straighter, and that is hard to see with all that geometry overlapping. So this is where you get really creative with jumping back and forth and side and perspective view. Right? Just kind of eyeball it. Go back and grab this piece of geometry, and again line that up, eyeball it, and then I think that is related. Yes, it is. Eyeball it, and so we just want that to happen. Okay, that looks good. And so I'm just going to go here and go to face and select it. Make sure that lines up, and then we're going to do extrude. Shift, I'm sorry, hold down shift, extrude face, and I'll go ahead and pull that out. Alright, I'm going to do artistic license. I think it's a little bit higher up that weld, but I think we're just going to, at the it needs to be stronger anyways, because the one on the other side is broken. So okay, so we're just gonna artistically do this, extrude face, and we're gonna pull this up. So we have a little bit more geometry to work with, and we're gonna go here, hit G, and we're just gonna pull it out. So it's very, very simple. Hit G one more time, geometry, and then grab this, hit G, and we're gonna pull this up. And now we're gonna look up to my side and see how far up we need to go. Okay, doesn't need to be lining up perfectly. Again, this one's been dented by all the garbage lifting it's been doing over its life. Alright, so that looks pretty good, and we're gonna turn this off, I think, and we're gonna go ahead and do the same over here. Face, and we're gonna clean this up, and without the image we're gonna just kind of use this one as a guiding light. Alright, so that one's way off. Alright, again, need to be able, you're just gonna by second nature understand what these hot buttons are, and I'm just hitting spacebar back and forth. Alright, I think that's good. So we're just gonna eyeball it again. This shift to select that, and may not be perfect, but just go with it. Just kind of putting our faith in substance now. Alright, so we bulged that out. Now if we really wanted it to be a perfect, we would have cut this a little bit higher. So, but hit G. We're gonna go straight up. And again, another cool feature is F. That will center whatever you have selected into the center of that. Alright, so we're gonna hit this, hit G, pull this out. I already forgot what it looked like, and G, and then we're gonna select that and hit G and use your arrow and go straight up. And we're gonna go to side view and kind of match it up with what we have here. I'm gonna hit W. Alright, somewhat symmetrical, right? Alright, so there we go. A pretty good start of a trash can, and the proportions look pretty good given the photos that we have. Alright, I think I'm gonna stop it here because that's taken me about an hour and a half, so I'm gonna multiply that by 2, so it may take you 2.5 hours to model this. Some of you may rifle this in like a half hour. Some of you are really, really fast. What we're gonna work on in the next class is making those hinges that we saw. Let's go ahead and look at the images. We'll make that extrusion, and then we'll make a real quick rod. We're not going to go into detail of that. We'll just make a rod, and then we're going to definitely work on these beautiful pieces right here. We'll extrude this out. We may even bend the wire a little bit so it has a little bit more organic or industrial look. This should be pretty easy to model. We may not look exactly like this, but have an impression of it. Some of the stuff that you see here, this will be all ZBrush. We're going to use those decals to make impressions and make all those subtle things, which we'll do with normal maps. It's going to be amazing. So again, when you're taking photos, just make sure you get all these cool little logos that we'll add in Substance Painter. Alright, and some of the things that we'll be working in ZBrush, the real quick stuff is maybe welding marks. That's about it. So ZBrush is going to be very minimal, but you are going to get introduced to it, how to develop high polygon, and how to kind of bake that into ZBrush. Alright, we're going to stop here. Good luck. I think what we'll do is just kind of go really quickly with our 2-3 classes, 40 minutes each, and then I will stay probably for an hour afterwards, and you guys can get on Zoom and ask me questions like what the heck, and you can share your screen, and I can talk to you over Zoom and look at your models and see if you have problems, so that way that you're not lost, we can work together. But I think this is the best way to do it. All right. Good luck, guys, and have a great weekend.